Hi there, it's Bartholomew Perez, engineer, realtor in California and Florida, author and investor. Question of the day: does my engineering education really matter? And it's yes and no. Partially because, yes, the first roles that you get into will be dictated by your major. And when you're applying, if it says electrical engineering and you have an electrical engineering background with a senior project that was in electrical engineering, then that makes sense. Same with software, same with mechanical, same with project management. The answer being no, it doesn't necessarily matter because there's other factors that can be involved. Number one being, what is your network like? Who do you know and how can your network help you? When it comes down to it, the better connected you are, the more people you're acquainted with and are aware of, either their mentors, maybe their coaches that you've already connected with, they can oftentimes be a springboard into the direction that you're wanting to go. So if you are a mechanical engineer, for example, you can definitely jump into the industry of space, energy. It's limitless. And what it comes down to is, who do you know? That's number one. Number two, once you start getting some experience, it then becomes about what sort of assignments are you taking on? Are these assignments impactful to your organization? Will they make a difference at the end of the year when there's reviews and budgeting happening? Is this going to make the company many, many more millions or billions when it comes down to it? If it's an impactful project, then you're probably going to be on a good path in a direction that not only are you going to be excited about, but others are going to be excited for you, because at the same time, your immediate management and their managers are looking at what you're doing closely because it affects either their bonuses, their earnings for the next year, and maybe the growth that you're anticipating to experience because they have accounted for all of that. And then really when it comes down to it, although you have set a trajectory for yourself, example, my bachelor's was in mechanical engineering. Then I went to system architecture based enterprise systems engineering. That was the major as a master's. And then I went to Georgia Tech for a professional education on the subject of electronic warfare. I've taken little bits and pieces of each to do the practice that I'm in right now, but it isn't in its entirety what I've been doing because of my education. It really was because partially branding, people were able to find me. Two, I was able to speak on several subjects that recruiters were interested in, and at the same time, the people skills. That's, I think, the last part that we tend to focus as engineers, because we want to do the cool projects just outright of school. And sometimes, even though there's a detour, I think there's value to be added from having an assignment that is not necessarily considered the most traditional from what you anticipated, because that's what school said that you were supposed to do, whether it's design, whether it's research. You're not necessarily going to do that. So how do you quantify and how do you leverage the experience and skills that you get from human interaction? Because yes, although the software and applications are essential, how you work with others makes, I think, an insurmountable amount of difference. Can you group? Are you a leader? Can you call on those subject matter experts? Are you organized? Can you keep on a timeline, schedule, and deliver accordingly? All these things, they're governed by maybe a contract, maybe an expectation, a promise, a commitment, all of the above. When it comes to people skills, this is an area that requires coaching, mentoring, practice, dedication, because you really are setting yourself in uncomfortable situations. There's going to be difficult conversations to be had, whether it's about budget, whether it's about teammates, whether it's about things that are loose ends that, hey, they need attention and you're not getting the attention that is required of it. There's no straight linear path. And it really does look like a sinusoidal wave. And that's okay, because I think that's part of the fun. As an engineer, 8 years experience, there's no linear path. And the only way around it is to do it. You have to go through it. There really isn't no way around it. If you decide, hey, this isn't for me, engineering was not what I expected it, that's okay. Find your calling. The important thing is that there are lessons to be taken. I think at the end of the day, if we're not growing, then what are we really doing? Again, this was prompted by a question. Does my education really matter as an engineer? Yes and no. Yes, because it's a great start. No, because you are in control of a lot of factors. And sometimes it's just a matter of becoming organized, getting mentors or a sponsor or a coach. And it can be as easy as reaching out, finding a organization that aligns with your goals and your vision and mission, and then shooting your shot. Ask. The worst thing that can happen is you don't hear back. Okay, move on, find somebody else. There's plenty of people in this world that are more than willing to help and are eager to take that next step with you. So believe in yourself and trust that you are very capable. This is Bartholomew Perez on the subject of engineering. I'm an engineer, realtor in California and Florida, author, and investor. To be continued.